Greg, you're on holiday, mate, and you're coming here to New Zealand.
Well, as you're probably aware, I was supposed to go to the World Cup, but I gave up on Australia's chances and decided not to be selfish and go with my mates to the World Cup, but take my family to Queenstown. What a family guy I am.
Fantastic holiday. What are you going to be doing?
Well, we arrive tomorrow afternoon, and then the Broncos is on that night, and then the All Blacks are on first thing Saturday morning, and then I don't know what you do during the daytime, but then the Warriors are on that night, and then the Lions also play that night. Essentially, I'll be watching football the whole time. It'll be magnificent. I hear there's some bars in Queenstown.
Yeah, one or two actually. Yeah, there's one or two. There's a couple of places to get a meal as well if you're interested in that.
Oh, excellent.
Okay, and you can also do all kinds of activities if you want to jump off a mountain with a tea towel on your back, all that kind of stuff, you know.
Mate, the daughter, the 25-year-old adventure-loving daughter, is booked everything. I'm zip-lining, shot over jet. I don't think I could bungee. My whole body had come apart. I don't know. She's got heli mountain biking or something or other. I don't know, mate. I find out each morning when I get up it'll be a new adventure straight after the World Cup game that I'll be watching at 6 a.m. every morning.
So the Marto family goes on Heidi High camp, mate. This is glorious, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Hey, Queenstown's quite an expensive place to go. My God, I might as well have gone to France.
Let's kick it off with the Wallabies versus Georgia, and then you get Fiji, mate. Are you getting out of your group?
Let's go Georgia, always known for their scrummaging. I think they picked 15 tight head props.
They did.
It will be tough. We don't maul well and we don't scrummage well. We got prop problems. Our vice-captain, James Slipper, is injured. We'll have trouble, but we'll squeak a victory. Fiji, they always give us trouble as well. We're going to have trouble getting out of a pool. And then we've got Wales, if you didn't know. But by hell, Portugal better watch out because we will give them an awful hiding. So, mate, who knows? We could get out with 4 wins, and then we beat England in the we beat in the quarterfinal, probably England, and we're in the semis. It could happen. That's
the thing. It could happen. And look, worse sides than you have made the quarterfinals, even gone on to make the semi-finals before. I mean, look at that. Remember that 2007 Rugby World Cup where a very average South African side ended up beating an even more average England side in the final.
Yep, exactly. That's the template to go with. They were average, and somehow they made it all the way through and won the bloody thing. So, it's going to be exciting. What about your Blakes, though? They've got to kick the thing off.
Yeah, look, I wish I could be more gung ho, mate. But I just look at that side, and and I know that I'm moaning about a side that's got an 80% win record over 100 years or something like that. But what this particular bunch of All Black players don't have is they don't have the consistency that past sides have had. And so since 2019, if you look at the numbers, you look at the matches, you look at the performances, we tend to do well for 2 or 3 games and then we absolutely dump it. And so what this bunch of players has got to prove is that they can actually be like All Black sides in the past and just keep winning even though they're not playing well or even though they might be under strength. So that's what we're waiting for, mate. And I don't know how much to read into this game against France because it's a bit like the Twickenham game where we're all still thinking about the quarterfinal.
No, well, don't. What this All Blacks team lacks isn't talent. They've got plenty of talent, but it's aura. No one's scared of you anymore. Maybe the Wallabies are. No one's scared of you around the world anymore because they watched Ireland beat you. France have beaten you. Wallabies sometimes beat you.
Argentina, South Africa.
Got to be careful. Can I give you a historical?
Please.
Historical comparison. 1991, Wallabies won the World Cup. Okay, 92, they were the best team in the world. 93, all went well. 94, pretty good. They go into the South African World Cup, have to play the host, South Africa, returning to World Rugby, first game. Got thumped, and that was the end. We went home in the quarterfinals. It's really dangerous playing the host first up, and I'm worried for you. There you go.
All right, well, let's turn our attention then to the Warriors. You've got it even easier against Penrith.
Up the wires. Up the wires.
Oh.
Everyone's favourite. Everyone's second team.
Okay. Well, what about your Brisbane Broncos against the Storm, mate? I mean, are you going to bottle this because they have your number every time you play?
Okay. Yes, I know. This is, again, historical. I think we've lost 24 out of the last 26 times. We haven't beaten them in 13 years. Haven't beaten a team in 13 years.
Crazy,
so
man.
Yeah, sometimes even if you bet on the same number at the casino, eventually it will come up. Mate, this is a team, if they were all full of old heads who have been victims of those losses for 8 years in a row, I'd say, yeah, they're beaten. But this is a young, brash, overconfident team. I'll just say confident team. They don't care. They don't seem to care, and they'll throw the footy around. Storm will try to squish them as they do everyone, will wrestle them to death. But the Broncos, at home, it's already sold out. There's already been 51,000 tickets sold. So you've got to think, have they been beaten this year? Only last weekend was the first time they got beaten. And you know how that happens when teams go into semi-finals and they play the same team last week and then this week. Inevitably, you check your history books, it always turns over because that team, i.e. the Storm won last week, they'll go in and say, we'll just turn up again. We did it last week. No, that's not how it works. You've got to, they'll have to turn
sound
up.
Convincing, mate. Sorry, there's a whole lot of straws falling from the sky. I'm trying to clutch one going past. There, almost got that one. Just about got that one.
There's a reason they came second, and the Storm have only, they've been struggling at times. I hope they do.
No, convince Lachlan. Lachlan is a Broncos fan. He was there. Very first game that he ever went to was Ben Hunt. And that grand final, which he's never got over. He's quaking in fear. He's like a dog doing raisins, mate. He's looking at the Storm side. He reckons he's going out tomorrow night. He's going out on the grog tomorrow night, and he's hoping that by the time he wakes up, hungover on Saturday morning, that you've won the game.
And I think he should be fairly confident that that'll happen.
Yeah.
Mate, we came second. Broncos were second this year, don't forget that.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, they're the most consistent. We've got an old bloke leading us around, an old tattooed fellow leading us around, Adam Reynolds, and the young blokes doing the running. Yeah, you watch, it'll be spectacular.
How do you, Greg Martin, Triple M out of Brisbane and Queenstown for the next couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks on holiday with the family. We always appreciate your time, mate. All right, what about your Dolphins? How do you wrap that season up now that you are, because of your job, officially a Dolphins fan as well?
Yes, commercially obligated to support the Dolphins. Right. Let's just remember, I think next year is what we're going to look at as a Dolphins fan. Started the year well, didn't have enough depth, so therefore they fell away. Remember, how many games did the Wars win last year? Oh, that's
6.
Right. The Dolphins this year have won 3 more games than the Wars won last year. So therefore, next year, probably in the semis.
Well, that would be remarkable. That would be amazing. And how long is Benny going to...
It would be remarkable. Well, how remarkable it is that the Wars are in the top 3.
No one expected this. I mean, maybe Andrew Webster, but nobody did. Nobody genuinely expected this. That's why it's been quite a relaxed week over here in New Zealand. I think most Warriors fans are just wow. I mean, here we are. We're in the top 4. We get 2 bites at this from this point on. I mean, you've got to enjoy this when your team does something as unexpected as all of a sudden turns around. This is the greatest single season turnaround since, I don't know, maybe the Cowboys last year were pretty bloody good. But to come from 6 wins to top 4 is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it switches you on, doesn't it? When you're a bunch of losers for one season and you train real hard, maybe get a new coach and a new voice and you get something new to listen to and you get Sean Johnson playing like a champion, and you get a winger who's got a perm, anything's possible.
I'll leave you with a couple of questions then. What is more chance of happening? The Wallabies get out of the group and qualify for the quarterfinal, or Brisbane win the grand final?
Oh, geez, that's a conundrum. More chance of happening, Wallabies getting out of their group. Broncos have got to beat quality teams all the way along. The Wallabies have got some rubbish to just dispose of.
Okay, what has more chance of happening? The All Blacks win the World Cup or the Wallabies get out of their group?
The Wallabies get out of the group. I'm not confident for you, but you are my second team, of course, the All Blacks, so I hope you do. But All Blacks, Wallabies in the final of the World Cup, wouldn't it be delicious?